Hey gamers, I'm your favorite Bored to Death TV host, Giancarlo.
He is definitely not your favorite Bored to Death TV host. That would be me, Felicia.
And this is our review of...
ShadowRift.
Yes, ShadowRift. Sounds like a bad Nickelback song. ShadowRift! You ever notice Canadians, we always export, crap. Not just music, even
whoa.
even horrible, review sites like ourselves.
What? No. Our review site is pretty awesome, first of all. Second of all, Alanis Morissette is kick-ass.
What? Late 90s, where it's 2 decades later.
Okay.
We're talking about the 90s.
Bryan Adams was chill. Well, what is actually
Well,
good?
we're going back now, in the 80s.
Does Canada have any good...
No, that's what I'm saying.
Game board companies? In ShadowRift, players are working together to save the town of Haven from the horde of monsters coming in from the Shadow Rifts. In the box you'll find 500 cards, dividers, a heroism marker, 1-point tokens, and 5-point tokens. To win, you must seal all rifts or build 8 walls and make the town impenetrable. Here's how to set up. Each hero gets their starting deck, which has 2 strikes, 7 prowess, and 1 explorer. These cards have a sword at the bottom of them with no cost, and are also written on the divider's starting cards. Choose a monster faction from the 6 available. You can choose from Necromancers, Stormlords, Glacian, Fire Dragons, Drow, or Demons. Then choose or randomly take 8 hero card stacks. We recommend you take 2 actions, 2 spells, 2 skills, and 2 loots. Now place the base cards, which are coins, might, strike, and seal in a row and lay out your 8 hero stacks below those cards. Place the 8 town walls face up on the table. Shuffle the travelers and infiltrators into one deck and place it face down, with 2 spots available next to it. Place the corpse, wounds, heroism, and counters face up where everyone can reach them. Place the heroism token on top of the heroism stack. Now to create the town villagers, shuffle the 10 villager cards and place them on the table face down with 5 available spots next to it. Finally, we create the monster deck. When choosing the monster deck, take out the special cards like Burn, for example, and place those next to the wounds. Shuffle 1 Shadow Rift per player into that deck to form and place it face up on the table, with spaces next to it for the monster power area. You're now ready to defend Haven Town.
A round consists of 7 steps, always in this order. First is draw. Here, players discard all cards and spells not maintained and draw 5 cards from his personal deck. Then you refresh the town by removing the villagers into the discard and drawing another 5. If ever there is only infiltrators, hazards, and or corpses in the village, you lose the game. Next step is refresh the travelers. Place the 2 previous travelers, if any, under the deck and reveal another 2. Infiltrators will automatically go into the town discard when revealed. The monsters then act and do their actions. They will move to the next available space in order. Depending on which spot they move into, they'll trigger an effect. If they are on the 3rd spot during the step, they leave town and move into the monster power area, unless they have rampage, which will move them back to the start space. In the 2nd spot, they move up to the 3rd spot and do their 3rd action. In the 1st spot, they move to the 2nd spot and do their 2nd action. And in the start area, they move to the 1st spot and do their 1st action. These actions include kill a villager, heal, break walls, make you discard, etc. If a monster reads a player loses the game, then I suggest you kill that monster ASAP. Once all monsters have activated, the next step in the round is gain power. In the monster power area, place 1 point for each player and 1 point for each faction icon on the cards there. So in a 4-player game with 3 faction icons, you place 7 tokens here. The new monster, which have an equal or lower cost than the power points, will enter the starting area. Remove those power points from the monster power area. And finally, the players can now take their turns.
On your turn, you can do 1 action, but have several options you can do that are not considered actions. You can only play 1 action and add any amount of quick action cards to the ability or effects on them. Other things you can do that are not considered actions are ask 1 villager for help, which will give you an ability or effect, but that villager is discarded into the town discard pile. and buy cards from the town by paying their cost, and they go into your personal discard pile. The type of cards you can buy are hero cards, coins, villagers, and walls. When you buy a villager or a wall, put those cards in the town discard pile. If you build all 8 walls, you win the game. The 2 major actions you'll be doing are attacking and using seals. Attacking inflicts wounds on monsters so you can eventually kill them, but if any of your attacks are melee, you'll take a wound. Take a wound card and add it to your discard. Good news is you can only take 1 wound per turn. Still, sometimes you'd want to make ranged attacks so as not to clutter your deck with useless cards. The first player to deal the final blow to a monster will take 1 heroism and give the heroism marker to the player on his left. The next time heroism is taken, that player will get the heroism card and passes the marker to his left again. This way, heroism is divided evenly among players. The amount of heroism your party gets depends on the faction symbols on the monster you kill. So for this monster, you'll get 2. Heroism is great as it'll allow you to draw an extra card and can be used as a coin, prowess, or a magic resource, which brings us to the other crucial action you can do. Seals. These powerful spells are used to close off shadow rifts, but you'll need to use a magic resource in conjunction to pay for its costs. Close them all, and that's the other way you can win the game. You can also play the skill cards, which do certain effects and can be maintained for an extra round by paying the prowess cost. Once you've all played your hero turn, the round ends and a new one begins. It's important to note that heroes don't have any order they play their turn. One person can go first and someone else, then go back to the previous player should he want to do something else. Talking and strategizing in the hero phase is crucial to winning the game. Close all the shadow rifts or build 8 walls and you are victorious.
ShadowRift is definitely one of the best cooperative deck building games we played, once we figured out how to play, because it also had one of the worst rule books we've ever seen. No examples, or more importantly, images to show exactly how to set up the game. And with this many cards and sections, it's a must to have images. It's pretty bad for gamers who know how to play deck builders like ourselves. I can't even begin to imagine what a newcomer to deck building would do with it. All I gotta say is thank God for the internet to help us out. But now that that's out of the way, as we said, this is one of the best co-op deck building games out there. The theme is very well captured through images and excellently through gameplay. The hunt mechanic, which basically states that if a monster goes for a specific villager kill and he's not there, you flip the top of the villager deck till you kill the first villager there, and the guard cards that prevent this kill is a prime example of this. As well as when a Shadow Rift appears in the monster power area, that now adds an icon to how many power points they generate that round. Replay value is excellent with the randomness of cards and monsters you'll be facing. And there also seems to be a different level of difficulties depending on what monsters you face. Red dragons are pretty insane as you'll add burns and wounds to your deck. The cards are excellent stock, nice with a glossy finish, and the chips and heroism token do their jobs well enough. Some of the text on a few cards are confusing though, like infiltrators that are removed from play are not actually removed from play, but removed from the town to go back into the Traveler deck. But we'll put that in the bad rulebook category. Great player interaction with lots of decision making with minimal downtime, but best played at 3 to 4 players. The scaling is a little on the offside as adding more players only adds 1 more power token for the monsters in the monster power area. And you add 1 Shadow Rift, and spreading the wounds throughout the players isn't so bad since once the wound cards are gone, you can't get any more. Still, Shadow Rift kept us playing for hours, and even the least difficult of monsters gave us a real good challenging game. Shadow Rift gets 8 walls out of 10 and wins in our Bored to Death village.